Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Stephen Larson. I'm a Clay County Administrator. On behalf of the Clay County Commission, both past and present, and representatives from the City of Moorhead, we'd like to welcome you here to the Clay County Resource Recovery ribbon cutting ceremony. Today really is an exciting day, and it's a culmination of 10 years of planning and development, and which has led to this beautiful building and something that our citizens can be proud of. Today we have three speakers as part of our ceremony. They're going to share their insight of the project. After they provide their comments, we'll have a short ribbon cutting and then our first ceremonial garbage delivery. And so with that, I'd like to introduce our first speaker. Kevin Campbell is a Clay County Commissioner. In addition to his 2 decades as a county commissioner, he's been the long-serving chair of the Clay County Solid Waste Advisory Committee, which provides expertise, suggestion, and guidance to the Clay County Commission. Welcome, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Steve. One of the things that we sometimes do when we meet as a SWAC committee, and that is SWAC stands for Solid Waste Advisory Committee, and one of the things we like to do is talk trash, and this is the one place we get to do it. So, but I want to wow, look at this place. It's pretty impressive. If you haven't had a chance to see it, hopefully you'll get out afterwards. But and there's John Everett just came in. John, welcome. So this facility will replace a decades-old facility, and it will combine 3 different services into one building. We will now have our major solid waste area here, as well as our citizen drop-off area and our household hazardous waste, all in one facility. This area here represents about 10,000 square feet. I think we're short on that number. It just seems like it's like 20,000. And that will further help expand our landfill. And let me just explain to you a little bit about that. When I first got on to SWAC in 2003, and I'm going to talk about Roger Rickman and Joe Peterson, those on SWAC at that time, we had a life expectancy of our landfill of about 10 years back in 2003. Today, we're proud to say that we're probably 40 to 50 years worth of life in that landfill. And it's other projects that we've done, and this project we will think will even bring it to even greater life expectancy of our landfill. Our goal here is to keep items out of our landfill, not in it. When you listen to energy people, the worst form of climate control energy is methane gas, one of the worst, and that's what goes into landfills. So we're fortunate for that. The area back here for the citizen drop-off is a 10,000 square foot recycling area where citizens will be able to drive inside and basically separate their garbage into containers for removal to the landfill. We also have a 3,000 square foot household hazardous waste area and a 500 cubic feet weight scale where everybody will drive up for your waste. None of this was possible without a lot of work from a lot of people. And I'll start off with our county commissioners. I know Commissioner Mojo had to leave, but we have with us today our current county commissioners, Frank Gross. Frank, give a little wave. Dave Ebbinger, and our newly elected commissioner, Paul Krabbenhoft. And we also have our former county commissioner who served many years on SWAC, Grant Wayland. Welcome back, Grant. Jim Haney and Jenna Cayley. We also would like to acknowledge all the work that was done on behalf of our local legislatures that brought in state funding to help with this facility. We were looking at when we originally planned this project, it was a $7.5 million project. As we're here today, it's $23 million. But we did get nice assistance from the state of Minnesota. Our Moorhead officials who are part of this, Heather Niesmeyer and Chuck on our SWAC committee, Dan Molly's here, and of course our mayor, and all those who helped as we went to St. Paul for for our funding for this project. I want to again mention our Solid Waste Advisory Committee. It's a group of about 20 of us that serve throughout the county in advising on different things. I want to give thanks to Lori Johnson, excuse me here, from our auditor's office. When you do a $23 million job, you got to have somebody be accounting for all the money that comes in and out. So Lori and her staff did a great job there. I'd also like to acknowledge Kirk Rosenberg. I don't know did Kirk show up today? Kirk here? Is out of town? Okay, Kirk and Steve Moore. Steve, there he is back there. Steve and Kirk were instrumental in this facility and working with MPCA in obtaining the funds that we needed to have partner with the state on this project as well. They spent many hours traveling miles to St. Paul and working with the design on this. We want to thank all of you who participated in this project. And finally, a thank you to Steve, our county administrator. He's the one on all these projects that kind of keeps all the meetings in line and helps us move in that regard. So here we are today to celebrate this facility. And I just want to bring up one other thing that we're going to be able to do from here. We're also a partner in Lakes and Prairie. I have 3 different names. There's Prairie Lake Solid Waste. I'm on 3 different committees that have Prairie on them. So anyway, and that's a facility in Perham, which Clay County became part owner. And with that, we were able to bring 8,400 tons of waste to Perham. And that also then keeps the waste out of our landfill and produces steam energy, which we're able to sell. And that facility is up and running well, and we have a couple of our folks from Prairie Lakes is here today too, if they want to raise their hands wherever they are. Way in the back, yeah. All right. And then lastly, SWAC members, you want to raise your hands? Yeah, they're the ones who really give us guidance on what we should incorporate. And not only that, but they're also there when we have problems and how we can work out to fix those problems. So thank you all for being here. And if I missed somebody in terms of your involvement here, I apologize, but there was an awful lot of effort. Big thank you to Burns and Mack, who were the architects on the project. And of course to our lead contractors, construction engineers. Construction engineers were the ones that were with us when we first built our correctional facility, our new law enforcement center, and now this facility, and they also worked on our regional juvenile center. And you can see they're all beautiful places, and Clay County will have this for many years to come. My last comment on this, in the old transfer station that was over on Highway 10, that was pretty much used in town. This facility is going to be able to be used by all residents throughout the entire county. And this will be a big benefit to everybody coming in and out. So once again, thank you to all of you for being here. Thank you to those who worked on it. And I'm looking forward to seeing that ceremonial first dump of trash coming up here. So, thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Commissioner Campbell, for those comments. Our next speaker is the Moorhead City Mayor, Shelley Carlson. As been shared, the City of Moorhead has played an important partner in planning and development of this project. The collaboration is another example where government entities work together to the benefit of its taxpayers. Welcome, Mayor Carlson.
Thank you, Steve. You know, Steve used different words versus saying ceremonial dump, but you just went there, so I don't know. I don't know, Commissioner. Yes, Commissioner Campbell. I am not even going to try to list all of the people that need to be thanked for being part of this process. I do have a few comments, though, and then I'm going to hijack your agenda for a little bit and actually have Councilmember Hendrickson come up because he has been part of this process for the last 9 years. I have not been part of the process at all. But Steve Moore, there is a chair with your name on it actually over here in case you want to get closer to the dumping station for the ceremonial dump. But a few key words that I'd like to just talk about is collaboration, coordination. This is a prime example of when people work together, we can really do great things. Paul Wellstone, I have a poster in my office that says we all do better when we all do better. And this is a prime example of everybody working together to make it better for everybody. And with that, I'd like to also, Kevin, do you want to raise your arm, your hand, whatever? This is City of Moorhead employee Kevin Sandine, who started in 1978. Yes, okay, we got that correct. We built this for you, the county did, the city, so the thought that you think you're going to retire in August is not going to be approved. So 45 years is not sufficient. And now that you have this beautiful facility, why wouldn't you want to come here every day? So, but if we could give Kevin a round of applause. 45 years is a really long time. It's a long time to be dealing with a bunch of trash all the time. And Todd Bratland, too. It's a very nice office. Let's try to keep it clean, okay? With that, I'm going to just turn it over to Councilmember Hendrickson. Councilmember Niesermeyer is also here representing SWAC. I know when she was first appointed, she said, I don't know anything about this, and now she talks trash all the time. So, Councilmember Hendrickson.
Thank you, Mayor Carlson. You know, I first started this committee 9 years ago with Jim Haney, and first meeting, we didn't know what it was all about either, but we got free donuts and coffee. So I said, shut up, Jim, just take it as it is. But the key for today is partnership. We would never be cutting this ribbon today without the strong partnership that exists among Clay County, the City of Moorhead, and all the communities and organizations that have dreamed for this facility. The resource recovery facility will be a huge step forward and replaces several outdated facilities that have served customers well. But putting key services together is a sign of progress, and today it's time for progress. One of the key factors is that it will be much safer and convenient for Moorhead residents because they will have a separate drop-off from commercial users at the site, which was a problem with the old one. Believe me, I've lived that. Almost backed into a wall, but we won't get into that. While it's always important to look at efficiency, safety for both workers and residents is a top priority, and I appreciate those considerations being made. And finally, thank you to all the people who have worked together to make this reality. And it's been 9 years of a lot of work and a lot of work in St. Paul. Your tireless efforts will make our resource recovery efforts better, easier, safer, and more sustainable for generations to come. So thank you all for coming, and let's cut that ribbon. Well, not yet.
Thank you, Mayor Carlson and Councilperson Hendrickson, for your comments. Our final speaker for this afternoon is David Benke. He's the Resource Management and Assistant Division Director for the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency. The MPCA is focused on preventing and reducing pollution, developing innovative and community-centered approaches that help protect our natural resources, improve human health, and foster strong economic growth. The MPA staff were integral partners from the beginning to the end of this project, from helping secure grant opportunities to the final approval of operations for this facility. We are extremely appreciative of this relationship. Welcome, Mr. Benke.
Thank you, and wow, what a great day. Before I start, I do want to say one shout out to Jeannie Gibbons, my staff, who's here today. Jeannie, raise your hand or wave it or whatever you need to do. But Jeannie's been instrumental in making sure that the project got in the ground, I guess is the best way to look at it. That CAP grant, those CAP grants that were secured, I think, have gone to super good use. You know, I think this is a long time in coming. You know, I look back, and it was 2014 when you folks joined the Prairie Lakes Group, made that investment and that commitment to managing waste up the hierarchy and not at the lowest part, trying to get the most resources you possibly can get out of it, which is fantastic. And, you know, when you join a group like the Prairie Lakes Group, you know, I can remember when some of those counties wouldn't even talk to each other. So now we get to the point where they just won't talk to me. So that's okay, as long as you're working all together. And, you know, on one of our trips, we brought the commissioner up to take a look at some of the facilities, and we, you know, pulled by the transfer station and get out, and he was pretty amazed. Amazed at two things. One, that you're working so hard with the facility that you had to do the things you were doing, but also in terms of the use of that facility and how it outgrown its space. We knew it was a time to help make sure that the project could go forward. And then we toured the household hazardous waste facility, and then we went to the electronics drop-off, and everything else there seemed to be busting at the seams, and we knew that a project was needed. You know, that reminds me that, you know, that really took persistence and perseverance. And if you've ever gone to the Capitol to ask for money, you know a lot about persistence. You really got to dig in and compete, but also be there for a long time, it seems like. Because I think the first grant came out in 2015 and finally got fully funded in the recent 2020 funding cycle. Didn't help that they didn't have a bonding bill for a couple of years, but once they got things rolling, I think they really recognized the commitment here and how well that investment was going to go. You know, I think as you look today, it's going to be fantastic. All the people that are here to you know, observe this part are going to be really, I think, instrumental in keeping it going. But the people who are going to come through those doors in a few weeks to drop off their household hazardous waste, their electronics, their garbage will get picked up and dropped off here, or they could drop off demo, all sorts of things that they need a place for. And you'll see the community come together, and it almost reminds me of the old township dumps, where people kind of gather around, have a cup of coffee, maybe take aim at a stray rat. We won't talk about that. But they have that commitment to the environment together, which I think is really super important. And so your commitment to this project has been fantastic. We look forward to the things you're going to do into the future, and are thankful that there are great partnerships like you've got going. I always like to say there's three things you can do with waste. You can prevent it, you can manage it, or you can clean it up, and you're far on your way not having to worry about cleaning it up. So my kids were always amazed at me, too. I got to get paid for talking about trash. And as we drive across the country, I'd point out the different features. Oh, there's a closed landfill. Oh, there's a transfer station. There's an organics facility, and they were amazed. But now that they're a little bit older, they recognize the importance of it, and I'm glad you all have too. And thank you. Congratulations. Let's cut some ribbon.
Thank you, Mr. Benke, for your comments, and thank you for your attending today. Again, that concludes our speakers for today. I'd like to thank everyone for coming and attending. Again, we will, for those that have been invited to participate in the ribbon cutting, if you would come forward and grab a scissors. And again, there'll be tours and refreshments after the ceremony. Thank you all.
Ready? On three. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.